Okay, thanks for doing this, Darren. Just be good to get a wee chat with you. Different person, totally different area compared to the people I've spoken to before, and just kind of get an idea of how you're coping with lockdown, what's happened with your work, and then chat a wee bit about any positives you see from the situation. So, at the moment, you're obviously at work. I can see you in your uniform. How's things changed there? Has it been busier, less busy?
Well, in terms of coming to work for me, obviously nothing's changed. We do a separate job in the control room, which has been abandoned just now to kind of pave way for an extra shift, where we're covering loads of airframes. One of the Scottish firms, Loganair, have given us an extra few aircraft. So
Does that come with Tunnock's tea cakes and caramel wafers?
No, which is raging. That was the first thing I said when I went on. I said, last time I flew Loganair, I got a Tunnock's tea cake and a coffee, and they went, yeah, that won't be happening. Bit different.
Yeah.
So work's not been different for me, but we are quieter when you're on shift, just because a lot of our jobs are trauma jobs, things like road traffic collisions and people on motorbikes and cycling and things like that. So obviously, because of lockdown, the roads have been a lot quieter. And there's just not been as much demand in that way, but we've been busier with medical cases, as in people who have symptoms of COVID and things like that.
So if they've got like symptoms of COVID and from the islands or whatever, and they need to get to hospital, that's what you would transport them back?
Yeah, because the level of medical cover in the islands is very limited. A lot of it's kind of GP led, none of them are even A&E or anything like that.
Yeah.
So they're so far from a ventilator, it's unreal. So
okay,
we work with the trauma team who can take critical care over to the islands and things like that. So there's been a lot of that. They're kind of waiting until people are really unwell and see if they can go up with it on the island first.
Yeah. Does that mean you've got more, like when you said that they've cut the control room shifts, are you working more than you would be? Like in terms of days and hours?
We've now got on-call periods. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I was on call overnight, which isn't a thing we do normally.
Okay.
So that's kind of changed my home life as well, as in there's no beer. You go home from work.
Yeah.
You have to...
So you'll have worked all day and then... So it's Wednesday today, so you work all day and then you're on call?
Yeah, so I'm 8 till 8, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on call 8 p.m. until 8 a.m. that night. So we're doing essentially... 3 24-hour shifts, but that's me done for the week.
Wow! On your on calls, have you been brought back in?
Not yet. There's been a couple of potential ones, but
yeah.
I've either decided to move them a different way or wait until daylight hours, just because it's a bit safer.
Yeah.
Because it's something we're so not used to, something that we've never done before. That it's just easier to do it in daylight because everyone's obviously been on during the day, pretty fatigued. And there's just the risk of more error and doing it in the dark. And we're using the RAF Pumas and things like that, the helicopters.
Okay.
So it's things we're totally not used to. So it's all trying to make it.
So what you would be different pilots that you would have in the evening compared to during the day?
Yeah. So I think the evening pilots are on call at night.
Wow, that is a bit of a change for you. So
totally different.
But not like extra days or anything like that.
Longer shifts, yeah. But still kind of the same days that I was due to be in the control room. I'm now on base instead.
Yeah. So when you get back home, like obviously when you're not on call, has anything changed? I take it you're just locked down like everyone else.
Yeah. I've been doing a few overtime shifts on the road, like kind of frontline ambulances as well. Just to there's a lot of staff off sick in division or isolating and things like that. So there's a lot of shifts going. So just trying to lend a hand and see what it's like in the real world in the frontline NHS.
Yeah.
But that also lets me get out of the house because I think I would be going a bit stir crazy if I was stuck in. So doing these extra shifts allows me to get out for another day and roam about when the streets are dead. So it's good in that way. I'm lucky that way.
When you say the streets are dead, like I'm pretty much leave my house once a week to go to the shops, and the rest of the time is just walking around my area. So I haven't really seen a lot, but it's quiet here. Like, see around Glasgow city centre and everything. Is it dead? Is it weird? Like, what's it like?
It's amazing. There's no such thing as rush hour anymore. It's just all day. It's just motorways are clear. You get a free run at everything. It's amazing. That's one thing I hope continues after it. Although no traffic will.
Not going to happen.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it must be a bit surreal. It must be a bit surreal going by all. I know I went into town, I think the Friday before the lockdown on the Monday or Tuesday, and I remember walking into the clinic and thinking, wow, there's a lot of places shut at the moment. This is a bit strange, but I guess even more so now, everything being shut. Yeah, it's crazy. So when you are home, and
the biggest thing for me is
carry on.
Like, the biggest thing for me is coffee shops. I'm really missing coffee shops because we're on shift. I'll probably nip into a couple of coffee shops, try and get a wee takeaway coffee during the day. So I'm struggling with that. The other day I got one. The one at the hospital is still open at the Queen Elizabeth. I went in there and I was over the moon. I enjoyed it like I've never enjoyed a coffee before in my life. Yeah,
I've pulled out the cafetiere and try to make like proper coffees and stuff.
It's
just to try and like fuel my coffee addiction a wee bit. But yeah, it's just not the same. That's one thing I'm missing, is the going into a coffee shop and just people watching.
Yeah, me too.
And getting to kind of chill out. But yeah, hey ho. Is there anything you're doing at home to try and like fill the void or keep yourself busy when you aren't working?
I'm missing the gym, so we've got a tiny gym at work, so I've been trying to use that like after shifts, but it's a busy place. I know, so it's tough because you want to get away from work, but then you want to go to the gym and you have to stay there for an extra half hour.
Yeah,
so that's tough because I quite like going to my gym on my days off to de-stress. It's got like a pool and stuff, so you can go in the morning, go to the gym, go for a swim, sauna. So I'm totally missing that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that being open again.
Have you found anything to replace that to de-stress other than your work gym? Like, have you got anything when you're at home? Are you doing anything differently to try and de-stress?
Yeah, I've quite enjoyed the walks and things like that. Like, and the runs. I've been doing a few runs and a few walks here and there. And it's just seeing parts of where I live that you wouldn't normally venture into. Yeah, which is really nice.
Yeah, I have to say I've found it. Me and Katie go out like pretty much every day, and we found some new streets in like around the area that we've never walked on before. So I guess it is quite nice, and it's amazing to see all the different people that are out. Like, normally you wouldn't have as many people out like walking.
And my local village shop as well, I've been using that. Like, I've only been in there maybe twice before, and I've lived there about 2.5 years. But this week I've been in just getting, because the local farm produces eggs, and the local butcher puts meat in there and things like that, things that I've never known. So it's like more local produce, like supporting your local stuff, which is I'll probably continue to do because I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, so that's nice. Like, it's something you don't do in the city, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's because that's the only option now that I'm using it, and it's something I've enjoyed. So I'll carry that forward. I think that's positive. Yeah.
And you've sampled the getting restaurants delivering food, have you not?
Twice, yeah, 1 week. So that was a big thing for me. It was my big birthday last week, obviously, and had everything planned. We had a big night out with the family and stuff like that planned. Dinner booked at a nice restaurant. Obviously, that all went very well down the pan. Yeah. So I got a surprise delivery of fillet steak to my door on my birthday. Although the first night, my birthday was on the Wednesday and they delivered it on the Monday by accident when I was still at work. So I got a panicked call from my girlfriend saying, are you going to be late? And I was like, no, I should get away on time. She went, good, because there's a fillet steak dinner sitting, waiting. So I think it's the quickest I've ever made it home. Good job there's no traffic on the roads.
Yeah.
And then I got another surprise delivery when they decided to do it again on Wednesday. I think my mum had arranged it from home in Lockerbie, so I think she made a big deal about, oh, he's an NHS worker and things like that, kind of played the NHS card there. Yeah. So they came out and they gave us a free dessert and another couple of bottles of wine, so it made up for it. It made it a good birthday. The best you could hope for in the situation.
Exactly. I think that's probably the key phrase there, is like the best you can do in difference for the situation. No, that sounds good. And was it all right? I was a bit like a fillet steak delivered. It's not really what you normally do.
It must have travelled about half an hour or something like that from there, and it's still cooked perfectly rare, lovely.
Nice.
Some starters, some mains, some desserts, lovely. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to go there again when it opens up after lockdown, because it's sensational.
Yeah.
Mini grill in Glasgow. Give them a little shout out. It was good.
Nice, I like that. And like I mentioned right at the start about like positives, like in terms of the situation, and I know you can sit and watch a lot of the media and things, and you'll be seeing like the very worst of it at the moment. But is there anything like positive you can see from it all?
Yeah, speaking to, like, we work with a lot of the consultants who cover a lot of the local hospitals, like Queen Elizabeth and the Royal, and they said they've been seeing a lot less kind of unnecessary attendances at A&E. I think was it the Royal against last year, with just I've seen a third of the numbers they saw this time last year, which is incredible. And you think, how many of those do they actually need to be there? Mm-hmm. That's something I hope the public can look at, because the NHS is stretched. Never mind in the pandemic, but just generally anyway. Mm-hmm. So if we can take that forward, like only attending if you need to attend, things like that.
Yeah.
It's been good, and there has been a lot of good things trying to create good morale and things in base.
Yeah.
You see a lot of the kind of TikTok videos and things going about, which I think is important for stuff like that. Like, it's a bit of team bonding, it boosts morale, because it's pretty depressing times. There's been a lot of deaths and things like that as well, and a lot of sad stories of people not being able to visit their family in ICU and things. But we've had a couple of colleagues I know who've been ventilated in hospitals.
Okay.
And they've both been taken off, been extubated, and they're both doing well. So there's some positive stories, and it's nice to hear the little positive things give you a bit of a boost.
Focus on those rather than the other stories. Yeah. What about
and,
yourself away from work? Like, is there anything positive you've seen, or you've been trying to do anything to like be positive?
I've done a lot more. I've introduced my mum and dad to FaceTime, because they live a distance away from me anyway. They live down in Lockerbie. So it's something we've never done, because my mum and dad are so technophobic, it's unreal. So getting them onto that, they've really enjoyed it, and it's nice to see them, because I don't get to see them that often with work anyway. So getting to do that.
Did they were they like this for most of the first couple? Like,
although we've done FaceTime for about a few hours now, I've only seen about 20 minutes of their face.
Yeah.
It's just it's never there.
Yeah, that was just nice. I think that's great. Like, it's like, obviously both of us from the same area. It's brilliant being able to like see your family a little
your
bit
nieces
more.
And nephews and stuff like that as well. You won't see them as much, and you'll see a big change in them whenever you do see them.
Yeah, so it is good. Although, like, when we first did it on Zoom, and there was a few different members of the family on, and someone smashed a glass in my dad's house, and he decided that he was just going to hoover. And obviously that meant that absolutely no one else on the Zoom call can do anything, because he didn't know how to mute it, didn't have a clue. But yeah, I think that it's nice to actually be able to do that.
It is, and it's something I think we'll carry on, I think, doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's nice to see them, and I think the more for them, they like to see me, and like on my birthday especially, it means they got to see me anyway, rather than just a phone call, which was really nice.